gates everywhere. In fact, the most sophisticated wall that's ever been built in history is in Israel and Palestine, and separating these disputed territories. And so we were able to cross those borders and meet with Israelis and Palestinians. And one of the Palestinians said that the irony is that if Jesus tried to make that track that was familiar from Nazareth to Jerusalem today, he wouldn't be able to make it through the checkpoints. He wouldn't be able to make that journey because of how many walls and how much holding people out there is. And yet what was so beautiful was I got to go on a little tour of the wall, and I asked some folks to take me and show me the art. Because as you all know, art has a way of kind of provoking the imagination, and you see things and they allow you to see past what is there and see the possibilities of what lie ahead. And there may be some images that pop up here, but I was able to see some of Banksy's art. You all know Banksy, the graffiti artist, and others, that they give you these beautiful, provocative images of being able to get over this wall that's all over their country. I like that one. So as you see those, they give you this hope that those walls will not prevail, and that we might that's actually a Palestinian checkpoint there as they're trying to get through. But you get this image that we have got to be people that are about building relationships across these borders and boundaries, and we were able to be a part of that. In fact, one of the things that we were able to do was to put another little crack in the wall as we went from the border into Iraq. And just to set the scene a little bit, some of you may know that 7 years ago I was in Iraq with the Christian Peacemaker teams and a group of incredible doctors and nurses and pastors that were living in Baghdad. And we were there to be a witness and a presence of reconciliation and peace in the middle of the bombing. We lived in Baghdad during the bombing, and I saw some of the hardest things that I've ever seen in my life, and yet I also saw things that absolutely stunned me. I saw Christians that gathered from all over the Middle East, and I can remember talking to one of the bishops and saying, "I can't believe that there's so many Christians here." And he was like, "Yeah, this is where it all started, son." That's Tigris River and that's the Euphrates. Have you heard of them? And so I had a lot of reality checks. But one of the things that happened while I was there was I also had my stereotypes totally blown out of the water. And one of the most powerful places that happened was as we were leaving in March of 2003, we took a journey from Baghdad to Amman, Jordan. And as we were driving through the desert, it was just surreal. I mean, there were bombs falling, bridges were down, cars were on fire, and we're driving down this road, and we end up hitting something in the road that pops our tire, and it spins our car off the road. Our car flips over, we go in a ditch, and we had a sudden impact. It was a bad accident. All of us were injured, some worse than others, and so we were pulling everybody out of the car, which is upside down, and we get to the road, and we're sitting along the road. Two of my friends have really bad head injuries, and so we're kind of thinking, what are we going to do now, And then the first car of Iraqi civilians to pass by takes us in, and they drove us into this town of it's about a town of like 20,000 people called Rutba. And when they drove us into the town, this was pretty big news, So the townspeople all start gathering, and they can see that two of my friends were really badly hurt. One of them was going into shock. And so they take us to the hospital. And when we get to the hospital, the doctors run out of the hospital, and they've got their arms waving in the air, and they say, Why is this happening? And we're like, good question. And then they started naming everything in their town that had been bombed. And finally they said, and 2 days ago, one of the bombs hit our hospital. It fell on the children's ward. And so we can't take you there. The entire hospital is closed down. But then in the same breath, this doctor said, but don't worry, we will still take care of you. It doesn't matter to us whether you are American or Iraqi or Christian or Muslim. He said, we will take care of you because we love you.